Welcome to Chefs in the City. I'm your host, Ann Fisher, along with my co-hosts, Steve Stover and Rich Terapak. We're back with more news and views on the food scene in Central Ohio and beyond. If you have questions or comments, email us at chefsinthecity111@gmail.com. Central Ohio is blessed with many fine Italian restaurants, from simple mom and pop joints to upscale trattorias. And I say blessed because we really appreciate it, right, guys?
Exactly.
We love Italian food, and we're talking about our favorites today. So I wanted to start the conversation off by, what do you think makes a great Italian restaurant? What do you guys think?
Sauces.
Sauces, okay.
Made from scratch quality.
Mhm.
There are a lot of shortcuts that restaurants take. And I always look at first, are they making their own breads? Are they making their own sauces? And
Pasta?
Yeah, their own pasta. Yeah, the sauces are, kind of key. If you don't have a good bolognese, your lasagna sucks.
Yeah.
If you don't have a white sauce, or you can't put together a carbonara or a
That's
cacio e pepe.
interesting, yeah.
That's what really sets them apart. You don't need the gingham tablecloth or Chianti bottle with a candle in it. That doesn't count.
Props aren't part of it. Yeah.
I'm like that most of the best Italian restaurants in Columbus are family-owned or chef-owned and not corporate. But we also have some really good non-chain Italians, too. So we're very fortunate to have a great number of them.
And I think there was a real influx, as there were in many major cities, of Italians around the turn of the 20th century. And most of them settled in one neighborhood, but they eventually got around town. And that neighborhood, I think we could identify as the Northwest.
Yes, and Grandview in particular, Grandview Heights in particular.
Did you guys kind of grow up with the Chef Boyardee thing?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
only now do we realize.
I know.
The ravioli were the worst.
But in a way, that did popularize the cuisine, or kind of mainstream it, and made people kind of crave more. I mean, I'm wondering to what extent it contributed to having people want more and better.
Well, it's
ironically,
it's heavy on the carbohydrates, which are addictive. The good news is Chef Boyardee was a native of Cleveland, Ohio, so it was an Ohio-made product.
But we've had really good Italian restaurants for more than 100 years.
Yeah.
As Rich said, they moved to Grandview. Prizzudi's was an early Italian restaurant that still is well, not in existence, but it was one of the popular restaurants in Columbus. TAT's been around since 1929. So.
You just went there the other day. So.
Yes, we did with our Romeo group, Retired Old Men Eating Out.
Yeah, TAT was a restaurant that developed for essentially the airport. It was smack dab. It was on James Road, a little bit north.
Yeah.
And it's trans something or other is what the TAT stands for. I wish I could finish the phrase. But yeah, it's been around since 1928. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so what about authenticity? Because you mentioned, the sauces, the this or that, but I like authenticity, but I also like a riff on it too. Where they can make it theirs a little bit.
Yeah, well,
I would say all the best are really authentic.
Okay. And
you can riff on them, but I don't think people riff on them that much in Columbus because they're like the Speck, which is from Josh Dalton of Veritas. It's really pretty classic. Couple of riffs, but just genuine house-made breads, house-made pastas. That's a high bar, because it's expensive and time-consuming to make handmade pasta. But we had dinner last night at La Tavola, and fresh pasta made from scratch dough.
Incredible.
And
great bread.
Great bread.
Giuseppe's has been doing their own sauces for a long time. It's one of the favorites of the East Side. Do a heck of a carryout business, and also always crowded, even when they added an extra room.
That brings up to me a little bit the ambience thing, though.
Yeah.
I think Giuseppe's does such a great job with that feeling of conviviality, and family, and warmth, and it makes you hungry.
Husband and wife. She's at the front of the house. He's in the back of the house.
Yeah.
And now, since Giuseppe's, the son has taken over.
Okay.
CIA trained chef.
Giuseppe's in Bexley, by the way.
Taken over the kitchen. Yeah. And similarly.
Drexel in Maine. And unfortunately, Giuseppe himself was involved in a terrible automobile accident and has been disabled for probably over a year.
Yeah, well over.
And his son has taken over, and it didn't skip a beat. He's the guy that went to the Culinary Institute. He was coming back to help Dad for a summer and then moving off to find his future in New York, and he just stuck it out, thank goodness. And the place is as good as it's ever been.
Right. And similarly, on the northwest side, Nicola, husband and wife, Speranza's in the front of the house. Nicola's in the kitchen.
Where is Nicola?
It's on Reed Road, just south of Henderson.
Okay.
Less than a mile from our house. And again, it's
crawling distance.
Home.
One of the best happy hours in town. Wonderful, wonderful foods. I'm very authentic. Very authentic.
And nice, now that it's better weather, it's nice to be outside there as well.
Beautiful patio.
Okay.
Cameron Mitchell's a frequent guest, so
all right.
you know it's good. So that would be another one. And we talked about La Tavola.
Lupo.
Lupo is an Italian and Spanish restaurant in Upper Arlington with Chef Todd Elder, who used to cook at Barcelona. And it's got some Italian dishes and
hence the Spanish.
And the best paella I've had, other than that in Barcelona. So it's a really good, and they have a lovely patio in the Arlington Mallway. And one other one I wanted to mention is that last week I spoke with B.J. Lieberman, the chef owner of Chapman's Eat Market and the owner of the Ginger Rabbit Jazz Lounge and a James Beard semifinalist. Yeah. He told me about his new project, Metzi's, a new Italian restaurant at 36 East Lincoln in the Short North, right where his former Heraeth was. And it's scheduled to open in early June, soon.
Could you spell that, Steve? Because one of the difficulties.
Metsi, apostrophe S. I don't know where the name came from.
He's got his name things.
He does. Heraeth was always kind of a bumpy road. I just want to emphasize that it's not in a back alley. It's not an old building. It's a brand new build that has an attached garage and it's very easy to use.
Metzi's.
Metzi's.
Exactly. Okay. And we're going to have him on the show soon, but it's going to be a real authentic, he has approachable Italian cuisine. He did a early dinner. He did a riff on a Caesar salad that was really cool, and a riff on carpaccio with eggplant on top, like an eggplant salad on top. The classic amicia trana pasta and cacio e pepe, ossobuco, and tiramisu. So, and it's not going to be tasting menus. It's going to be order a la carte.
Okay.
So he covered the whole boot.
Right.
north to south.
Stay tuned for B.J. Lieberman coming soon. Here.
Right. And Moretti's.
Yep.
Two Moretti's now.
Generous portions.
Well, huge portions. We order one, I think it's the best fettuccine Alfredo in town. And it includes a salad and homemade bread. And we go to both. We know Tim, who owns the other one, or the one in Arlington. Yeah. And then the one in Dublin is the menu at Arlington is larger, more diverse. And the other one is mostly pasta and veal and chicken dishes.
Right. And again, just so generous, you're going to be taking half of it
homemade sausage. So that's another one of our pick hits.
Then, there's Cameron Mitchell has a strong relationship with the Italian cuisine.
He does. Yeah. He does.
5 different concepts.
Right. 5 different Italian concepts.
Exactly.
The newest being Cento, but he's had Marcellas and Martinis around for quite some time.
And Valentinas, which is new.
Valentinas, yeah.
So,
yep.
And he does, they're all done well, and they're all have their own unique characters.
Yeah.
Cento's the big upscale one.
There are a lot of regional things. distinctly regional things in Italian cooking. And a lot of what we've experienced are the red sauce places, which are essentially South, Naples-oriented, but also Sicily, which is the home of a lot of eggplant dishes, seasoned with mint, which is unusual, but they actually taste pretty good.
Yeah.
So it's good to have these different. I think he enjoys taking his group over there and to different regions and developing menus.
I'd love an excuse like his.
Yeah.
This is a good time to talk about the chef, female woman chef that is. They have a new documentary out about.
Kind
her.
of the
one of the visionaries.
Indeed, a visionary, kind of the queen of the birth of good Italian home cooking. And that is Marcella Hazan. She and her husband Victor moved to the U.S. in like 1955. She comes from a wealthy family. She hadn't cooked before.
Oh, really?
And just started doing her own recipes as she remembered them. Steve and I had the pleasure, I think, of working with her on a cooking class.
What was that?
Well, she was a little tough. She was tough on the staff. We were staff, but
how many years ago was that?
Oh my gosh,
35 years ago.
Okay,
early 80s, I believe. It was at La Belle Pomme Cooking School at Lazarus, and before that, it was at Betty
she was
Rothwell.
a visiting type of thing. Okay,
they had wonderful visiting professors. And Giuliano Bugiali and Marcella Hazan. And this is when they had their books were at their peak. And what a wonderful opportunity it was to work under them.
Yeah. But she produced great stuff. She didn't truck any kind of.
You haven't seen the documentary yet, have you?
Have not.
I'm interested to see. I'm really curious to see.
An article in the New York Times.
Yeah.
Right.
But she changed the face of home Italian cooking in the United States.
Indeed.
It was the Bible. She and Giuliano Bugiali.
I pulled out our two cookbooks, Italian Cooking 1 and Italian Cooking 2, both of which she autographed to Rich and Roberta because we took them to the food festival in Aspen. And they're very well worn. Some of the recipes we use frequently. We have friends who at least on a trip each year serve the dish that is essentially fusilli with cream and sausage. That's it. And it is incredible.
It's a family tradition among both of our families. That's what when the kids come home for the holidays, they want pasta with sausage and cream.
Okay.
Very simple.
Tell me how you do this.
Well, you cook the sausage.
Yeah.
Just plain, not Italian sausage.
Right.
Just basically
just like
ground pork with salt and pepper. Not
seasoned.
Well, you could go for mild Italian sausage, something that isn't like breakfast sausage. And you brown that up, then pour in a bunch of cream, reduce it down a little bit.
Okay, the fats are all mingling here.
And you've got it. And that's it. You just dump the cooked pasta.
Stick to your ribs cuisine.
Oh, yummy.
And, you can sprinkle a little bit of freshly shaved Parmesan on top of that.
Mm-hmm. That's absolutely one of our absolute favorites.
So a lot of her recipes are fairly simple. They're 2 or 3 sentences and a list of ingredients.
Her tomato sauce is very, very famous.
Yeah.
It involves lots of butter, tomatoes, San Marzano tomatoes, and an
onion,
clove-studded onion.
Yeah,
I think.
What?
Mm-hmm. And you cook it for 30 minutes or so. I mean, if you look at New York Times Cooking and if you look anywhere else, that is the gold standard for a homemade tomato sauce.
Oh, I want to try this.
And you take the onion out. You don't.
Yeah, of course. But can you just? I mean, the kind of tomato. How critical?
Pretty critical because it's San
good
Marzano,
tomatoes are
good tomatoes. They're
those
plum
are those
tomatoes.
Nice. Oh, okay, plum.
Plum tomatoes. Of course, you buy them. They're skinned, peeled, but not
canned.
Yeah, canned.
Canned is okay.
Okay.
And you can use the juices of the can in it as well. But lots of butter, onion, a little clove.
I think the butter.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I have butter. Butter makes everything better.
I mean, a lot of butter.
Yeah. Everything's better with butter on it.
Osteria Novella. I haven't been there.
It's a young chef, and they opened that restaurant several years ago, and it hasn't received as much attention as it should because it is noisy. It's sort of a trattoria, but it's a very modern decor, but sort of a trattoria kind of a feel. But the food is really good, and in the place when we went, we saw Jim Boudreau's and Cameron Mitchell.
Just by chance?
Yeah. Well, we went with Boudreau's.
Okay.
So
that's
my secret. But it was really good. And, that's from northwest, way northwest. It's and then near that is Valentina's, which is the Cameron Mitchell's sort of Barolo area.
This is in Bridge Park.
It's a beautiful restaurant. But for better or for worse, directly beside that is one of my favorite, Cucina.
Yeah.
And another brother,
which is also in
Ziliak
Grandview.
Brothers. Yeah. Don owns the one downtown, Due Amici, and Rick owns Cucina, two of them, one in Grandview and one in Bridge Park.
That's one of the unique things about family restaurants, second or third generation Italian restaurants. Sometimes the brothers don't get along.
Yeah. And then they split off and we luck out because we get more restaurants. I have to say, I was at Due Amici. I was at a show downtown and we went there for dinner and I had a really, really nice carbonara.
We went there for happy hour, the three of us.
It was, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, it tasted, it was...
Yeah.
All of it.
And that isn't that easy to do. You think
I don't think it is.
I think it's ham and eggs, but it is not that easy
yolk.
to do. And yet, the secret...
Not curdling it.
The secret, I think, of that is you're using like 4 egg yolks and 1 whole egg to make and then you fold in the Parmesan, mess it up a little bit, and then dump the hot noodles in that in a heated bowl.
Or temper it. Take a little bit of the pasta water,
move it into
lightly cool it, put it in the eggs
first,
stir it a little more, and then as you get it, then you can pour it over the pasta.
Yeah. But it was good. I mean,
I love carbonara, and also
kids do too. Yeah,
real pancetta or Luganiga, the two
nice and fatty.
And you can find both of those. The real thing at
and a pinch you can use bacon.
Well, there's a version in the New York Times that has the same thing, but the first thing you do is caramelize some tomato paste for umami.
Okay.
And then you do the whole thing and you use bacon. So you got smoky and caramelized tomato sauce, which is a completely different version, but it's awful good.
Most recently, I found a recipe that included some shallots that you saute down a little bit. So it adds a little bit more oomph to it. But yeah.
Lest we forget Bazzi Italia.
Of course. Speaking of ambiance,
down
great
in
food,
the not Italian village, lower short north.
Victorian
village. Okay, it's on Highland,
which is an alley
between Buttles and Hubbard, and it's just a block east of Neal Avenue.
Right.
It's where that new redone shopping center
by Thurber. Yeah.
When we took Michael Roman, the famous cookbook author, there one time, and he was over the moon over the Parmesan creme brulee.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it, the lovely Parmesan on a little bit of toast. And every time I go, he's doing something new and interesting. Mm-hmm. The zucchini pronto, it's enough for 3 people.
Yes.
It's a lovely zucchini chilled salad.
Fresh and wonderful, yes.
But it is just, and Johnny Dornbach and his wife, Trish, own it. But they have a wonderful staff who've been there forever.
And it's particularly nice in warm weather because you can be out on their terrace. It's a great feeling as well. He does a good job of what Marcella recommends, and that is don't throw away the husk of the Parmesan, the Reggiano. Save it, put it in the creme brulee kind of thing. Put it in soups.
Almost anything, soups, stews. Yeah.
Great use.
Yeah. And right near there, Mr. Terapak, is Polino's Pasta.
Polino's Pasta.
Another favorite.
You say it's new.
It's newish.
Okay.
It's 5 years, maybe.
I don't know how you guys get around all this stuff. That's why you're here.
It's a dirty job, but somebody
has to do it. A young couple who spent probably a half a year traveling around Italy insist on doing everything very authentically. Marcella would love them. And they, I think, have perfected the cacio de pepe. Which is you've got a whole wheel of pecorino, I believe.
It's cheese. Cacio e pepe means cheese and pepper. Okay. That's all there is. Go on.
And then you dump in whatever kind of what's the noodle of that? Is it a?
You could use almost anything.
It's a.
We use, believe it or not, we use farro an ancient grain. Has this little chew to it. But also, we use whatever pasta we've got. It's just...
It should be a small arborio kind of size. That's rice,
gotcha.
but that kind of size pasta. And they mix it at the table. It's not a lot of fanfare. There's no flame.
They mix it in. They mix it in
inside the big
roll
round of cheese.
Right.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I have heard of that. Yeah,
and then they have a nice price fix kind of setting for you essentially get a first course, main course, and dessert for like $50.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah.
And the folks from Rue have a new fixed price for like $28 a pasta place in Polaris.
And you can make money on pasta.
Food cost is low.
It's low, yeah.
Oh, one more favorite, Speck. Downtown, Josh Dalton of Veritas, who's at the corner of Gay and High, opened just half a block away. This lovely little comfortable Italian. I've never heard of anybody who didn't like it. Everything's made from scratch. And Speck is like prosciutto, but it's smoked. And they have a wonderful plate with burrata and the speck and a little bit of giardiniera, some pickled vegetables. And
speck doesn't sound like it would be an Italian ingredient.
Yeah.
And I think it's because it comes from the northeastern corner of Italy.
It's a German word.
Yeah, north of Venice, where that area was controlled for a long time by the Austro-Hungarian Empire. And that's how I, for a long time, thought it was a German meat, but it is not. And it's very flavorful. And
But Al Thurn made it.
Yeah.
Now, what about, you're an East Side person. What about Scali and some of your other favorites?
There's some great old family restaurants on the East Side. This Scali is essentially Reynoldsburg oriented, and it is in a strip center. It has a great following. It has family food. And it also does a great business in carry-out lasagna.
By the tray?
You can't get it by the tray. You have to order it 24 hours in advance because they do so much of it. And they throw in, why not, a couple loaves of bread and some other things. And if the guests don't see you, you can pass it off as your own.
Well, just put it in your own pan. One other one, there are so many.
Don't give me any ideas now.
There are so many, but I also remember Filio and Vino on Grandview Avenue. Husband and wife, Peter and Lori Dennis, recovering lawyers.
Yep, from Dayton, Ohio.
And they have it's a cute little wine bar. They have wood-fired pizza and pasta dishes. They closed the Fishing Road, Dublin Road one, and I'm hoping they'll have, and they have one in Dayton too.
Really?
So
Filio's?
Filio and Vino, yeah.
Peter, they're Dayton natives.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, all right.
And we mentioned the TAT. If you want to catch it, it's out on James and Livingston. That's its probably its third location. It's its only location, but go early. It gets a big crowd.
Yeah. All the time.
And reasonably priced. There's another little place on the east side, pretty far out on Broad Street, near the New Albany Road. It's Milano's, and it's a great place. We go there often. It's inexpensive, and they serve everything with a side of pasta, and it's good because there are always a bunch of priests in the place.
Is that the big sprawling?
No,
Is it okay?
It's relatively tiny.
Okay,
but very, very well priced.
And Lola and Giuseppe's, even though Lola and Giuseppe retired, it's in downtown Gahanna, near the burger place.
Okay,
it's a little strip mall, and it's this cute little place. How about that? We have so many Italian restaurants, so little time.
Yeah, there's never enough time. Tony's. I used to go there when I was covering the State House. We'd go there and take people out. And
Tony's still there. He has a new chef.
Really?
A classmate of Steve's.
Yeah. Well, not my class. A year younger. Just like everyone else.
Yeah.
Get in line, people.
Have you been to Tony's lately?
No, I have not been.
We used to have fundraisers.
Okay.
When I worked at the State House, they would have fundraisers there, and that's still a popular place for that.
It's kind of a haunt for lobbyists.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
And a loyal following, like TAT.
Unlike a lot of places, it didn't go under when the lobbying regulations went into.
It's kind of dark.
Tony's hung in there. So yay, Tony. Any good happy hour ones that you can
Steve
think
mentioned Nicholas, which I think is probably the superior one.
Their prices have gone up, but you can get a lovely plate of pasta or shrimp, all for $9. All their little cicchettis are $9. Glass of wine, $9, and it's all made with love. And sometimes, if you're real nice, he'll make the chicken liver pate for me.
Marcella's has been redone and has a good happy hour. You have to sit at the bar.
Okay.
And there's a happy hour at Giuseppe's and the same kind of rules, unless it's too crowded, and then you can sit on the windowsill.
We always whine because we're old. We can't sit at the bar.
Get on those benches.
Fall off the stools.
Yeah, well, tough.
I think Martini has another one. The Cameron Mitchell restaurants, Italians all have a happy hour.
I don't know if Cento does. But,
did we talk about Cafe Polino in the former Tazzi's places? Right, still much Tazzi's.
Well, there are two other. We talked about Polino's pasta.
Yeah, right. Polino
Village,
Piazza, Polino's
where
pasta.
they make the tableside cacio.
On King.
Then there's a Piazza Polino, which has focaccia and gelato on North High Street.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's Cafe Polino, which is sort of a coffee shop and restaurant in the old Tazzi space behind the former Rigsby space.
So obviously they're doing well, and they must have good food to be.
And it's a good must be a good location. There's some locations nothing ever works there, and that one,
works.
Two winners, in a row. Yeah,
wasn't Rigsby's in there first?
They before High Street.
Yeah, maybe not.
I don't know.
Something was.
It's before my time.
We just think that because the parking lot.
Oh, Pistacia Vera was in there.
Really?
Yeah.
Their first location was in that building.
Yeah, they were the ones essentially who remodeled
and made the kitchen.
Made it a kitchen. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Well, I'm hungry as usual after talking with you guys for a few minutes. To our audience, please like this, share this, share Chefs in the City with your crew, with your friends, with your family. Contact us at chefsinthecity111@gmail.com and find us on Facebook at Chefs in the City 614. And join us next time, because a great meal and talking about a great meal is best shared. So I'm Ann Fisher with my co-hosts Rich Terapak and Steve Stover. Have a good day.
Boxland Media. Think big.